What's it?
Masa because of Daf Mem Omid Beis. Got it? So it's really page 80 starts the Maimon, the first ois we did last week. We're holding now the second ois. David the Melech suffered tremendously. The Chazal say, Ani amarti bechavzi, kol adam koizer. He said, Shmuel Anovi came, he anointed me with oil. I was supposed to be a king, and nothing but trouble. He's a fugitive. First, he tries to run away. Just running away was already a thing. And he was starving for a few days. He goes to Beis Achimelech. Shaul is so angry, he kills out the whole Novi Yakoina. David the Melech runs away, he comes to the kingdom of Gas. They want to kill him, so he acts like he's crazy. He's bouncing from here to there. He said, Ani amarti bechavzi kol odem koivze. When he was bechipos running from place to say, he said that his malchus was a malchus of Koizev. It says something that does a mind that doesn't last. Meiz mechazvin doesn't last for 7 years. It's not a mayim chaim. He said, I thought my kingdom is garnished.
What's Tasha Kosev?
Koizev is ksiva, lying. He said, what's going on with him? He was suffering and he was running away. And how many times did he had once the chance even to kill Shaul, and he tried to show Shaul that he doesn't have anything against him. Didn't help. Whatever he did, wherever he ran, whatever he did, and he was a fugitive. So Chazal say that David the Melech says, that the Torah was like a song to me, Bebeis Megurei, when I was in a place of I was a ger, I was a foreigner in the foreign lands. I was a fugitive. I was running away, and I was let the saliva come down on my beard. And I was writing on the walls of the doors of the palace. So that what the Shas Megurei, Shas in a place of Gerus. Torah was Mesameach me, Torah was Midas. Rashi says there was like a song. Torah was like a song to be Mesameach, all the tzoras that he was having. Gemara says in Soit, the Abish said to David the Melech, Midas Karislu, you call the Torah a song, you're going to be punished. That you're going to have a shikha, you're going to forget a din. Which din are you going to forget? The din of Masa Bekosov, the mitzvah we're learning about. And that's why when the Plishtim sent back the Aron Kodesh, David the Melech made a mistake, and he ordered that they should put it on Lagola Chadosha, and then put it Uzzah, then on the road. Uzzah thought the Shamtu Abokor, he thought that he saw the Aron fly up in the air, and he wanted to catch him, and he touched the Aron with good intention. So in Pashtus was a good intention. He died. David the Melech took it very personally, and the Gemara said that it was a punishment for David the Melech. So we have to understand, first of all, what's so terrible to call Torah as midas? And what does it mean that he called Torah as midas? And why was the punishment shikha? There could be many punishments. Shikha is a very bad punishment, like who wants to alta shlacheni le'ezikna? Who wants to who never wants to have dementia or Alzheimer's? The worst thing is shikha. Shikha is the worst thing. So and within this shikha, he forgot a din, which l'chayda is a kapella. It's a pasuk mafurish. It's a whole story in the Torah about the Bnei Kohos didn't get any wagons. Kavod Saleh and Bakodesh Bakosov. So like how could he? It's like a pella. The Gemara says, so Take, he actually happened that he made a mistake in something that's so obvious. There's an entire story in the Torah about the Bnei Kahos. How could he make such a mistake? So I'll ask several questions. What was wrong with saying Zmiris? Why was he punished after Shikha? And with Shikha, why was he punished to forget this mitzvah of Masa Aram Bekos? Let's read a little bit. There's a beer Nifla, and there's a second beer from the Alter Rebbe also.
This is not the Alka.
No, but he's quoting here the Alter. This ois is almost mila b'mila ois b'ois from the Alter Rebbe and the Kuntzachim in the time. And the next ois, then the Tzemach Tzedek will start pilpling his own thing. The next ois is a longer ois. Okay, let's read. Bir inyan yubam bir inyan shikha the David shenasa sagol ala the shikha the David shenasa ala gol Omer Zal shezo oyne shlo yachsham azmiris zay l'chukah veis megurish shiba chaper bekora ois azmiris Omer HaKadosh Baruch Hu said David zmiris kares lo you called it zmiris chayecha shepenik shlo b'dam shafilo tenoike shlo b'esarav b'yodim by the Eibishter made a shvua that David will stumble on a simple din. Children know it, and he will forget it. Shenemak yavet stretch away. Because if he's so long, is that to understand like what was so bad about what he did, and what was the punishment? How is that mida keneged mida? Yesh lahagam kekamshin is borla shator shalom nederak neivlis chashmi shalmayla. We explained that the Torah, the way we know it, is neivlis, so it falls up from the chach. Kanaim b'labat.
Yes.
Neivlis.
Shin on the subline.
Kagamshin is boyer leil. You said earlier, nois alof, shator shalom the Torah in front of us, Yirak, neivlis chacham is only pieces of that fall off from the chacham shalamayla. It's only from the level of Chanaim. Godly lainkates v'tachlis ma'achayis alakus shebachol oilamas elyonim v'tachtoinim. The Torah, even the Torah which is b'chinas acharaim, the Torah that we have. So the godliness, the chayis alaki that's in the Torah is be'en kates more and la'in tachlis more of the chayis alakus which is no oilamas. Elyonim v'tachtoinim. B'chinazu. Shibach David is a Torah. David the Melech was Meshalech Torah with this. Bavur Sham, B'Ksav Yad Kodesh, as the Alter Rebbe says, and it's written as Ksav Yad Kodesh. V'Zelu Shoynod in Simon Lamed Vov. V'Havi Ma Shevach LaKadosh Baruch Hu. She's also removed. Rashi says that Zmiris it was a Shevach that it was Sameach that Zmiris Elon Chukecha. That he was Betzoris and he was Mesamech himself with the Tzoris, that he was Mesamech himself with the Torah. Shas was having Tzoris. But the Zoya says Zmiris means Shevach. The word Zmiris means to be Meshabeach. That so the Torah, it tells the Shvach of the Eibishter. So what is the pshat that the Torah? Every word in the Torah says Shvach to the Eibishter. What does it mean? Every halacha is a shvach to the Eibishter. Siman Aleph and Shulchan Aruch, Siman Beis, Siman Gimel, Yeridea, Siman Aleph, Siman Beis, Siman Gimel, Ebenezer, Siman Aleph, Siman Beis, Siman Gimel, Cheshemishpat, Siman Aleph, Siman Beis. Every halacha is a shvach to the Eibishter. First Siman in Yeridea. Hilchos Shchita, it's kosher, it's possible. So it's drasa, it's equal. How is that a shvach to the Eibishter if it's yet drasa, not drasa? Because yechalod is not chalod. Where's the shvach? We're saying that the Torah is a shevach to the Eibishter. What does it mean? It's Chinese. What's the pshat that the Torah is shevach to the Eibishter? Hine hu al derech ma that says in the pasuk magodlu masech Hashem moedam komach shemesech. It's a little bit of a pellet losh in the pasuk. We're saying usually machshava comes before ma'isa. Here we say first ma'isa and then magodlo masecha. First we see the godless and David's ma'isa, and then we see avidam kom machshava. Can Grace Kasha this nicht? Because you say, oh, I see the godless of the Eivish Meisen. From that, I understand the godless of the Eivish Machshov. I'm looking this way. I see the mice. Okay. But for it, like, so the Alter Rebbe touched the Alter Rebbe touched the same thing. From the mice, and we see the Machshov. But there's an oimek over here. Kehine noida. There's an oimek here. What's the oimek? Kehine noida. Shekol ha'olam ha'salyanam v'tamkenim v'tlum v'diktik mitzvah. All the elements are hanging in the diktuk of one mitzvah. Derech mosh. I'll give you an example. Ima kosh, korban kosh. If the korban is kosher, a lot of things can make the korban possible. Could be machshavas pigul, machshavas psul. Could be a ton of things can make it. Any little detail can make the korban possible. Ima korban kosher. Nasa yichud elyon. V'oilum kol ha'olam is l'kabel chayusam v'shlifam. Im shinish kibel adam b'smoilum. Derech mosh. Koines the makabel the dam. You mean it? If he took it b'smoilum, shaloi b'klisharis kosher. Oishe chatzitza. Azayne is batla aliyas oilamas v'chiyusam v'shifim achai chaim eintzai baruch. They don't get this extra chayes. Chem betfilm ksheris. If you have kosher tefillin, meskala moichim, there's ova nukva. We say that there is in Lamaila there is the moichin, and then there is Zoh, which is 7 speedus, specifically the 6. Nukva is the Indian of Malchus. So it's the tefillin is mamshich kesach chochma bina das into the midas. And when Yidus kosher tefillin is mamish in Atzilus, and through that in Bri and Yitzir and Asiya, Davish is moichin in the lower oilamas. Shemaka chaysa chol oilamas. But diktuk echad, one diktuk in the tefillin of a Yid that's wrong, that the ois is cracked, or one ois is dovuk to another ois. If Solomon is talking to moichin, kaigavna bediktuk mitzvos loitas. If a person realizes how many billions of unbelievable details is in the world. The world is a brilliant place. Eibishter made this world with billions of details that click into each other. They're all thoughtful. I just a silly thing.
What do you mean by that?
One second. In Israel, there's an irrigation system that the Israeli farmers figured out. It's called a drip system because a lot of water gets wasted. If you go in America, you see how the irrigation, there's a lot of water is wasted. So in Israel, where they're very mitzumtzum with water, so they have a drip system. So, and Punktam now, Sunday, I went with the kids a little bit for a trip. And you see the water from the mountains are coming down, but it's not. It's a long time after have short shlogim. But that's what Chazal say because the whole summer throughout the mountains, water is coming down from the higher peaks from the Shelag. The Eibishter figured out a way that this word is like a drip system. The Eibishter made that there'll be good irrigation for the whole summer. It's like I've started a Narish example. Everything in this world is created in a brilliant way. So a person realizes that the soy chodesh and the soy toisefis. What's page 80? Page 82, top line. What's soy chodesh is every thing in this world has certain chayes from the Eibishter. What's soy toisefis? Toisefis means extra chayes from the Eibishter. That's called soy chodesh, soy toisefis. The chayes the Eibishter gave to everything in this world is soy chodesh. When a yid does a mitzvah, all the oilamas are makabel sheferav. All the oilamas. V'soy toisefis. That wasn't designed originally, that they can live without it. They can get along without it. But now, with the mitzvah you did, there's a soy toisefis. If a person thinks about it, that this korban, all the kohen did was, instead of taking it b'yad yamin, he took it b'yad smoil, the dam. Or there was a chatzitza between his hand and the keli. Instead of a toisefis oidus and all the oilamas, the lights are turned off. Same thing with the tefillin. The Rebbe says, why is he giving 2 examples? Because Korban could say, oh, it's a kohen, it's something big. The tefillin is me and you and every Jew, also in Chutz La'aretz. The Rebbe's father has a more fancy shot why it's not, so he gives 2 examples. One is Indian of Aliyah, one is Yerida, Korbanos is Rotze, fire going up, film is Torah coming down. Bottom line is that the Alter B'Taich is Magodlu Masecho Hashem. If you look about how billions of details is in the world, you'll see Omku Machshavei not Omku Machshavei the Geval that the Eibishter figured out how to make billions of details go together. That there's an oimek in the machshava. What's the oimek? There's an oimek lefnim oimek. Besides the regular chayes eliki, there's a chayes eliki that comes through Torah. And if one diktuk is wrong in the film, because one ois is davik to other ois, all the oil must lose out of it. So that's a pshat that the whole world is bottled to the diktuk echem meduke Torah. Top line. But mitzis look at diktuk echem meduke Torah shaymek machshava yonah v'chachmas yizbarach. But diktuk kal oilum chalal must kabel chlusum v'shufam. With one diktuk, they all go up. They all get extra chayes. With one thing, they all fall down. Chas v'shalom. The zen is boinen. Gedulus oimek machshavta yizbarach. Shepchina is that the oimek machshava, not the regular machshava, which is that creates the world. The oimek machshava, which is Torah, should bli gvu v'tachlis amalosel ein kates v'tachlis al ma'aylas chayes kol oilam es kol chiyusam shefei mediktuk echem memenu shu nimshech memekoyri. The old oilam is one diktuk from a mitzvah. All the elements get a special chayes from it. V'oimek machshav b'to yizborach. K'moi sar odom animshech mimoichel derech moshe. The sar odom gives a little bit in here, but it comes from his moyach. K'noide me tikunim v'adre v'zoysi simchas David melech alav hashalom shahoy mezamet u'meiran and smoyach libei basic atoyre b'eis tzarosai. That David melech was singing because it said that all my tzaras are nothing. Because all the olamas is nothing, klapi Torah. All the olamas is nothing, klapi Torah. When he said that this is the mile of Torah, Omas miras hayoli, nena shal ze kapanish, Omal HaKadosh Baruch Hu miras karislu, shum be'emes malos azu shkolon las betelam gabe yidiktek echad, v'bchinas acheraim she'emek hamachshav. It's only from the cheraim of the emek, k'mashkosav, which is a medrash, which is a tzach tzedek, saying I'm copying the lashon of my grandfather. Huh?
What's Noiblis?
Noiblis is the pieces that are falling off. Perek Aleph. Tzach tzedek coined the zayd is lashon as lashon azov. I always use the expression lashon azov. The Rebbe used it. The Rebbe used it. Tzemach Tzedek used his. We spoke about it many times that Tzemach Tzedek, to him, his Zayda's lashon was Kodesh Kadosh. That's why he would quote it with Diukotz. Avo pnimi shabaymek shehu pnimi shabaymek shehu pnimi zatoyri mechetz l'gamri bayon etzof malum b'shbo betachlis yichol. Pnimi of the oimek of the Torah is miyuchid with oyon etzof malum b'shbo betachlis yichol l'gamri ein tzay baruch kol oilum es ka'ayim mamish ve'efes mamish. Ka'atu ad shaloi nivra oilam. So oilamas are nothing. So to say the oilamas are bottle is like a joke. Hilton gamel pnimis atoyre ein l'shop chaklav betulas chayes kol oilamas. Machar the lo mamish chshivi. It's the Gemara says an expression. The Gemara says that the Gemara says a story. It's Barachas. We once learned this Gemara. It's also Megillah. The Gemara says that someone stood in front of Tanina. He said, "Akela God lo giber van noire va'izus va'achoshu va'agodol va'groiser Rosh Yeshiva." He said a lot of shochem to the Eibishter. So the Gemara says that Tanina was upset at him. He said. So the reason we say Akela Gadol Gver Manore, and that's from said that's what Moshe Rabbeinu said. Anan hanech plus amin he loved amin Moshe Rabbeinu beiraisa. Also Hachknas Agdela v'tiknina b'tfila lai v'yechel l'meimerlo. V'hat amad kula hai b'hazal. Moshe l'mel l'bos avadon shayu loy elef alfa lofim din rizov v'makal tzanoisa v'shel kesef. Aloy gnayu loy. That's Lashon the Gemara. That it's a king that had unbelievable amount of Zav, and they started praising him that he has Kesef. Kesef is cheaper than Zav. Today, okay. Since we're already on it, I want to read a shtickle from the Rashba.
When he says Zemir Sifut,
Huh?
when he says Zemir Sifut,
Definitely, this is Nevi'us. It's not his own.
Huh?
It was Nevi'us. It wasn't his own.
It's a good question. Hold on to the question.
It's right there telling.
This is Tillim. We say today. Actually, it was a mistake. The Gemara said it's a mistake here. So why are we saying it today? Why didn't he erase it? Obviously, he didn't erase it. It wasn't a vur.
Right.
And it is a chelik atoid. It's a posuk. And you say it's a toid before you say that posuk.
Maybe you know the facetious out of it. Maybe you just said the.
No. There's a beer nifla for this. No. To answer your question, there's a beer nifla. The Rashba says, Amar Rambam. I love this deal from the Rambam. The Rashba heard a word from the Rambam. Loya Mekaltzos of Elav Din Rezov, Shamashal Bain, Mirkel Meruba, Alachiluk Ben Ketzav Lazov, Shem Chalukton Lagamri, Kol Kach Hashmochim, Shenafim Loimer, and a Klam Min Sheva, Tilas Aboidi Sala. Hani Milat Kuri Main Shefche Hilkich, Tikus Adifalon, Avalas Happen if Loisef, Nisa Vigoroisef, Kola Maisa, Fereza Meshubach. The Zeo Kol Sefer Tilam Etishbachis at Tzadik. Let me explain. It's a deal knifla from the Rambam that the Rashba heard. He's saying it here. Abshat from the Rambam. Gemara could have said, there's a melech that has $1 trillion, and they're mekalos, and that he has $1 billion. I'm like, no, it's not the point. Okay, listen, 1 trillion and 1 billion. If you have a couple more billion, you have 1 trillion. It's a different soup. The ashidus of a person who has kesef and zov, it's a different type of ashidus. So I think what the Rambam is trying to say like this. In the beginning of Shemona Esrei, we're quantifying the shach of the Eibishter. Over there, you have no right to say more than these 3 because that's what Moshe Rabbeinu told us. That's our classic rules. But we're sitting at a Siddush of Brengen, and we want to tell over the Nisa of the Eibishter that Israel in 12 days wiped out a huge amount of capabilities from an enemy, and we want to say Shiddush Tishbachas, and we want to tell a story that happened in a hospital. We want to tell a story and we want to say the Eibishter Tishbachas. There's nothing wrong. Over here, we're talking about Milas Hazov, and you're mixing in Kesef. That's the problem. Okay, so back here.
People who made Shachiyanu or Hollow when they were escaping. That's okay.
Yeah, that's very good. Sure. So now, what's the deal? The deal is that there's 2 Milas in the Torah. There is the Milas Torah, which is Pchinas HaCharayim. The Charayim of Torah is that all the elements are bottled to one diktuk, one mitzvah. But mitzad the pnimius of Torah, to be mishabeach, to say the shvach of the Eibishter is that all the oil, that's a shvach to the Eibishter. That's a shvach. So therefore, it's an insult. So he got punished. Why did he get punished? And I'll tell you, we're going to soon read it inside. I just want to. So the Alter Rebbe says, where does shikha come from? Shikha comes from Pchinas HaCharayim. What's a pshat? Simple English. There's certain things you're never going to forget. Some things you forget. Why? Because they're not so important. So you'll forget. But some things are very choshev to you. You're never going to forget. So shikha is m'chinas acharayim. Usually remember your first and last name, right? Usually remember your cell phone number, your social security number. Yeah. So, but things that are m'chinas pnimiyas, and again, that's enough you remember. So because you were talking about the Milas of Torah, which is M'chinas Acharayim, you're going to be punished that you'll get to the level of Shikha, which comes up M'chinas Acharayim. And which halacha are you going to forget? The mitzvah of Masa B'Kosav is that the Kohanim should be ponim al ponim. Because the Oren, there's no, is the Luchas. In the Luchas, you can read it from all 4 sides. There's no Acharayim. There was a nest. It was a nest by the Oren. We said they can read it from all 4 sides.
A Luchas also?
I don't know. But you can read it from all 4 sides. And because you can read it from all 4 sides, the pshat is there was no Acharayim. And therefore, the main thing of Masav Kosov is Dafka by Oren. Because over there, they were carried it, and they have to look. Ponim keneged ponim. So the Indian of because the Luchas is so strong, the Kedusha shines out, that you see there's no Pchinas Acharayim. So he forgot, Rishikha comes from Pchinas Acharayim, a halacha which emphasizes the idea of the ponim, of the mile of the Pnimius of Torah, where there is 0 Acharayim. That's going to be the kud of the Alter Rebbe's biur. The Rebbe has a sicha from Chag HaShavuos Tov Shechafei. The Rebbe asks.
They had the same last week. I think this.
Yeah, well, that's what we spoke about. The Pnimis of Torah, Chanaim, the Torah. Now we talk why he got punished. The Rebbe asked, and Rafa bringen, David the Melech given a Talmud Chacham. So he must knew what this is Torah's emes, right? So Matzedek is saying a thing from the Alter Rebbe. Alter Rebbe didn't make it up. So how come the David the Melech made such a mistake? How could David the Melech make such a mistake? And the emes says it's a pasuk in Tehillim, right? If it's a mistake, why didn't he erase it from the Tehillim? Didn't erase it? So it must not be such a bad mistake. The Rebbe says, "Divrei Torah anim b'makom echad, ashirim b'makom achar." The Alter Rebbe says this explanation of Kutzach, but it also mentions it Bekitzer in Torah Oyer in Mekei it's Daf Lamed Vav, and over there he mentions another Nakuda. Incidentally, that this Nakuda is also other Mefarshim say this there. Everyone says a little differently, but it's just Nakuda. The word Zmidas is Lazamer, Ritzak, to cut. He had many enemies. How is he going to cut the chayes and the enemies? Those that we hear Shabbos, we learned about Pakash and Achoshes. You know, there's Mordechem in HaTorah Minayim, there's Estem in HaTorah Minayim, and there's Haman in HaTorah Minayim. The Haman down here is a really nasty guy. But if you go into the Torah, and you go to the Shoidish, so there's Haman in HaTorah Minayim Oifetz, and there's no Mordechem in HaTorah Minayim. There's also a Shoidish and Mokkah in the Torah for Haman. But once you climb up to the Mokkah, the Shoidish, or the Haman in the Torah, everything changes. So David HaMelech wanted to cut away his enemies. So therefore, the Gemara says in Gittin, Hashkim v'hadim aleim b'beis HaMedrash, then call him aleim. If you have an enemy, wake up early, not with a sword, not with a gun. Hashkim aleim b'beis HaMedrash. Get up earlier than them and go to the Beis Medrash and start learning. Then call them aleim, and they'll melt away on their own. So David HaMelech wanted to set Zmiris Meloshin Lazamer Oritzim. That he's learning Torah, in the schus of his learning Torah, he's going to cut away his enemies. Because he's going to learn. The Rebbe says the two pshatim are not so far away.
Whichever child's closer to the father will listen.
No, the Rebbe says the word is because when a person learns Torah in such a way, the first pshat, he learns Torah, that he sees that all the Torahs, that everything in the Olamas is bottled to one word of Torah, so then he gets to the source of everything. So therefore, the source of everything is good. So he shows how everything is good. So therefore, anything which is bad turns into good. So that's the avodah of...
Oh, so it's not about outdoing God. It's about seeing that there is no bad. And
the enemies of David were bad people. So therefore, David HaMelech, right now, the Alter Rebbe said that's the second pshat. So therefore, you understand, David HaMelech understood, sagt the Rebbe, that the mile of Torah is, that it's the pnimius of Torah is the delight of the Eibishter, and you can't say that the Gewalt of Torah is that oilam as habatel kenegda. It's a joke to say that that's the mile of Torah, that all the oilam as habatel b'diktok. That's only a shvach in the acharaim shabbat Torah, not in the pnimius. But right now, David HaMelech has to get be mazamer oritzim. He's a melech. David Melech Yisrael Chai V'Kayim. That's Yisrael Lo Yishaker. He has to get rid of his the enemies. So therefore, he right now, different apostle can tell him. Amol Ayid has enemies, and he has to get rid of. We have enemies today against the Klal Yisrael. So Hashkem Harav Aleim, we have to learn an extra Torah. Then call them Aleim. You learn extra Torah, and that's it. So the Rebbe says, so why did David the Melech punish? The Rebbe says the Alter Rebbe is medayik one word. Mashenenish David shibech asatoyre b'may lezu lechud. And one word lechud, because in Tilim it is not only said by Yid that right now has enemies running after. Tilim is also said by Yid that right now doesn't have any enemies running after him. So because David the Melech only recorded in the mile of Torah, the way it's Zmidos, the way it's B'chinas Acharayim, which sometimes you need it, but he didn't record the Torah Kedidibur, the mile of Torah, which is the Pnimius, which is the Shashum, the Eibishter. Therefore, he was punished. And the Rebbe is
What
Moisef.
should we say?
Huh?
What words would we
What was it? What he
should
should have? He should have said what the pasuk says in his what his son says in Mishlei. Misachekes lechonim v'shashui yom yom. That it's was the Shlomo Melech Taka said it. Misachekes lechonim v'shashui yom yom. That's the Eibush Shashuim. And that's the ultimate mile of Torah. So the Rebbe says that the emes is that it's interesting punishment. David himself wasn't punished. Uzzah died, not David the Melech died. So and the Gemara says that Uzzah might have had another sin. It was but Lepoel, David felt that it was his fault. Lepoel, he's the one instructed that. The Rebbe says it was also a midah keneged midah, because David the Melech at that time needed to learn Torah in such a oifen. Number one, that he doesn't care about his enemies. Why? Because Chab's in the bod. Chab's in bod. Because I'm learning Torah, so all the tzaras of this world is zero to me. Chab's in bod. And the second shot is not only Chab's in bod, but really through learning Torah, him calling Aleim. So David the Melech needed to take that attitude at that moment. But Lepoel, he left room that Yid shouldn't realize the ultimate mile of Torah. Take Shlomo Melech later said that it's la'omei, it's la'shashuyim, shashuyim yom, esachekes lefono. But David the Melech didn't tell it to us. So he left room for Yid to make a mistake, that this is not only a stage in Torah, but this is the ultimate milas of Torah. So it was for someone else. So therefore, midah keneged midah. Someone else was nenesh al yodoi. So David the Melech took it personally and was hurt that through him a Yid Nebuch died. But it wasn't that he was punished. He was punished that someone else. It was midah keneged midah that he left out, that someone else might think that the ultimate amalas the Torah is the was midas.
So how does he do tshuva on causing somebody else's?
Hello?
It's not an easy thing to swallow.
Yeah. Right?
It's like a kid child in the car while it's learning.
Yeah.
Who was this Israel?
Hello?
So they have a song in Hebrew,
No, I don't think.
Raven Israel
I
Migdalim Yerushalayim, where
Piamenta.
Haskem.
I know Piamenta. That was
This
different.
is the
No, he was a king. He was about many generations later. Okay, let's read inside. Hilkich kamel pnimis atoyde el shaf leklal betilas chayes kalol as lach lamam shibra. Khin pnimius ene simchas leva venesh b'shashuv, but yochel simchas lev b'shashuv melech kadosh baruch hu shemishtasheya. That it's the Eibush is the light. Kilokim haven dar kaviyod mekayim malos b'dizatz mekaviyochel. Aval nelma meine kol choy. Kamashkasa upon loyre pnimius kamashkasa b'sham b'shem arizov zesham rakosa be'etz le'shashuim. Shashuim etzloi dafke, Masachekes Lafonov dafke. That the Shashuim is etzloi, Klapid Eibishter, Masachekes Lafonov. The Hainu Pchenes Pnimius, the Pnimius of the Eibishter. As anyway, Etzla Oman, before we continue, there's once a Maimah we learned, Tov Shalom Aleph. The Rebbe says that a person learns Torah, it's very important. Chazal say, Ein on the moment, Elam Ken Chofetz. One simple pshat is, if you want to succeed in learning, make sure to learn something that's shmak to you. But the other thing the Rebbe says is that no, it's the other way around. The Torah is the Eibish's shashuim. So also, Torah is the Eibish's pleasure. It's the Eibish's delight. Just like by human being, the deepest thing of a person is his delight, it's pleasure. So with the Eibishter, the deepest thing is his pleasure. A Yid has to experience that he learns Torah with pleasure. A Yid has to learn Torah with a gishmak. It has to be with pleasure. He says the Rebbe, when I'm learning Torah, I'm pleasure because I verstanden a Rambam, I verstanden a Rashba, I understood the Rambam, I understood the Rashba. Reb Chaim says a beautiful word, the Shagasai is a nice chiddush, if Shimon Shkop says a nice word. So it's the seichel. So true. On the surface, I'm enjoying a pshat from Reb Shimon Shkop, but the truth is, the pnimius, the reason why I'm feeling delight, I'm feeling geschmack, is because Torah is the union of the Eibishter's delight, and I'm experiencing the Eibishter's delight. Elamai comes to me through understanding something api seichel, but the ultimate is it's not really has to do with seichel. It has to do because Torah is the Eibishter's delight, and therefore it's important for me to learn Torah that I feel delight when I'm learning Torah. I like a good bottle of wine. I like a good steak, but es kommt nicht der Geschmack der Teusfus. Es kommt nicht der Geschmack der Stickel Teusfus. There's nothing more delicious to me than a Geschmack der Teusfus. There's no extra calories. Teusfus also, no, it's added benefit. Doesn't build any plaque on the heart, on the arteries going to the heart. So it has to be pure pleasure. So it's a head. It's a thought that it's not just that the easiest way to learn, best way, is if you're going to learn what you enjoy, then you'll end up learning. Otherwise, you see in Beis Medrash, it's a problem. You see, you go into Beis Medrash sometime, and it doesn't happen that much. People that are saying here because people are busy. Everyone here is busy. If you have 5 minutes to learn, you're learning. You're not wasting your time. But if you go into Beis Medrash, and there's a lot of Dvarim B'Telim going on. Why? Because you start, okay, let's learn. Zok, Gemara, Internet and Dvarim B'Telim. But so that shouldn't be that way.
So it's structured, right?
Okay, you can't. Listen, we have a system. You can't. But that's, within the system, a person has to know what libe chaf is. So if it's a little more chaf, it's shalom hashah, shalom hashah. Libe chaf, it's shalom shemishkap, shalom shemishkap. Don't be embarrassed. If you're libe chaf, it's shalom pnei Yeshua. So today in yeshivas, pnei Yeshua is not so. It's not the hottest thing. But if you libe chafetz, so vanish this fall. Lam pnei Yeshua. Lam mashah. Lam the chidush agodas mashah. Who learns chidush agodas? The chidushim that the mashah wrote on the stories in the Gemara. No one learns it. But if you enjoy it, you go learn it. 5 zachana parliament. You like to learn Medrash Rabbah, sit and learn Medrash Rabbah. Oh, every time to do that. First day. So,
Also
is also a good thing, yeah. But there has to be learning Torah. Also has to have an inyan of libet love. It's not only through that you'll succeed, but that's be'etzim the inyan of libet Torah. Yid has to experience inyan of pleasure. So, let's read it inside. The pasuk says that I was omoin. Omoin means I was the Eivisha said. The Torah says the Eivisha trusts me. I'm very close to the Eivisha. The Zohar says I'll take it omoin on the oimen that I am the architect of the world. There is in Torah which is Mesachekes B'Tevel Artzoi Shashur B'nei Odom, that it's also Shashurim from B'nei Odom. K'Torah nit upon him v'ocher. The Ksiv b'Megillas Ofod de Zachariah. Perik Dalad de Zachariah. It's one of the Haftorahs. It says that he saw Megillas Ofod. So Poshup Shat is he saw a Megillah, which is a Nevuah. He saw prophecy floating in the air. But the Gemara says that Ofod means Ponim v'ocher. That he saw Megillah, which means he saw the Torah. And he saw Kilu, the Torah was written on him v'ocher. We write only on one side, the cloth. The other side is white, it's empty. But in his Nevuah, he saw Kilu, the Torah was written on him v'ocher on both sides. So the Alter Rebbe says, what's the vision over here? What's the inyan of that? Because in everything in Torah, is written Ponim and written Ocher. There is the Pnimius of the Torah, which is Shashrui Amela. It's the delight of the Eibishter. There's the Chitzonis of the Torah, and in the delight of the Eibishter is something that a human being can't understand. It's Taima Mitzvah, Sloinis Galu. We don't know what it is. We say that Mashiach is going to come, we're going to know the Taima Torah, but now we don't know. And then there's the Chitzonis of the Torah, which is the Seichel of the Torah. This is what we were learning last week, that the Pnimius of the Torah is the godliness of the Torah, and the Chitzonis of the Torah is. We'll learn about it today. Mitzvosecha, Shabbos, Mincha. A little bit will fill into what we missed out last week. Bottom line is that there is a Ponim in the Torah and there's an Ocher in the Torah. Ponim in the Torah is the godliness, and the Ocher in the Torah is the Seichel of the Torah. Fisher Tofas David, because David HaMelech praised the Torah, and he was Toifas, he held on, and he was proud about the Acharaim of Torah. She was punished for shikha. The idea of forgetting comes, as I said before, Why would you forget something? It's unimportant to you. If your name, your first name and last name, you remember. Even when you're very tired, you remember your name. But some information, some whatever random piece of information, you forget. So the idea of shikha comes from acharayim. So the Abisha said, you're praising Torah mepchinas acharayim, you'll be punished, you'll have shikha, which is mepchinas acharayim. And what are you going to forget? And now which why is it that the order has to be because of, and they should face each other? Which is that the luchas didn't have any acharayim, only ponim. And therefore, the kohenim, when they carry the luchas, also has to be in a way that there's no acharayim. There's only ponim can I get ponim.
Achoraim, it's not a bad thing. We think Achoraim, it's down of the body.
No, over here, acharayim means clap of the pimius. It's acharayim. So anyway, that's the bottom line. So just to summarize, so there's two explanations why David Melech made praised the Torah as midas. One is he said that I'm going through unbelievable pain right now, and I'm being chased from country to country, and I have to walk around like I'm a sugar with saliva on my beard and writing things on the walls, and I'm a fugitive. But all these tzaras are nothing because I'm learning Torah, and the whole world is chabzei bod. Because the whole the world is nothing to Torah. So, but that's wrong because that's not the ultimate Torah. So that's the acharayim b'chinas Torah. The pnimis of Torah, it's the Eibish's delight. The second thing is that it's not only he said that the Torah chabzein bod, but through learning Torah in this way, he was able to cut all his enemies away. But still, it was the wrong thing because that's not the ultimate of the mile of Torah. So the Rebbe says in that sicha from Yeshua's Tavshin Chafei, that what's the lesson for me and you? The lesson for me and you, he said, is very simple. There's sometimes we're learning Torah, and it's true, in order to know what to do, to be a Frumi, you have to learn Torah. Because if you don't learn Torah, you don't even know what a shaila is. You never know what to ask him. So we learn Torah. But that's really in a way the B'chinas Acharayim. Pnimius is that I'm learning Torah only because I want to be miyuch with the Eibishter. Torah is the Eibishter's delight, and Torah is going to be my delight, and not because through the Torah I'll know how to do Vitzah Zayin Ayid. It's important, but that, just like by David HaMelech, was important to learn Torah when he was Bebeis Megure, when he was a fugitive, and this Megure, place of Gators. Yeah. So it was important to learn Torah in that way, but still, it shouldn't have been lechut. When he praised the Torah, you should also emphasize the other part of Torah. Same thing when we learn Torah. Taka, we have to learn Savisin Tzazan Ayid. How you learn what it's chosid? How are you going to know? We spoke about, we're learning it now in the summer, we learn before Mincha, we learn Mila de Barachas, Haiman the Baliyas, Chasidim, person that wants to be a chosid should learn Barachas, that's what Chazal say. So we want to be Chassidim, so we're learning Barachas, right? So if you don't, you wouldn't learn it, you wouldn't know.
What should you even tell you?
But Medaf learn in Torah, ultimately not. That's taka the yeshivas today, and the defense, the mile of yeshivas, and the system that we have is that the whole idea is that to enjoy, to learn the lumdus, and to enjoy it and see. Everyone's always talking against that. The system, terrible system. Learn yeshiva 10 years. You learn 100 daf in the yeshivas. You have to live as long as Mr. Shelach. He still didn't finish the whole shas.
When you go to the Bakia Seder.
If it was so true all the time, everyone always said the system is broken. So why didn't in the past 200 years why don't yeshiva just change the system? I say we'll learn daf yom in my yeshiva again. Because the truth is, a yid has to learn Torah, and not only lay this amais it's a yas. A yid has to learn Torah in a way of kolach smoise teimarna. That a yid enjoys the Torah. Elamai, a yid also has to cover it to know Shulchan Aruch, has to know from cover to cover. Otherwise, how is he going to know what to do? But that has to be just like by David HaMelech. It's true that he should praise the Torah, that that even though he was a fugitive, he has so much tzodas, the whole world is unimportant. It's a liksem bod. And hashkem haharev aleim, get early to the base medrash, and all the enemies that call him aleim will melt away on their own. However, the ultimate of Torah is that it's the Eibush is the light. Same thing us. We have to learn Torah later, but also we have to simultaneously learn Torah in order to be one with the Eibush.
I don't know why.
You know how
That's because of this.
took David HaMelech to write the Tehillim? Anyone know?
I don't know. It's a good
It's
question.
all his life.
He was right.
It's all stories of his life.
Right.
So that's the only one who wasn't on the level.
Right. We see that he took right.
Why was he
It's
punished because of Tfinis Zachariah?
Huh?
He wasn't on the level to have Makabel
How can
Minyan.
he write on our Babel?
Nah, this can be
No, He should have.
Oh, the Melech.
So was it John Tucker?
Was not
So that's what he said out there. The Rebbe says.
Because
Because at that point, it was important for him. He was having tzodas, and it was important to put it in perspective. It was important to make his enemies melt away. So for that time, it was important to learn Torah in the Semitis. Yeah, Elamai was Nenesh because he praised the Torah Bazel Lechut. He should have said the next pasuk after Semitis Torah Lechut Kesem.
That's how it
Should have
says.
said.
It's the Pisha Tafas David B'Chnis Zachariah. He was Enish.
So I'm saying that's why the Rebbe's masbir that Divrei Torah Anim
But it's
Mokamech.
not in the words.
It's not in these words. It's what Rebbe says. If you look in the Torah, and in Torah Oyer and Daf Lamed Vav Mekates, there's a few more things that fill out.
Without the Rebbe, it's very hard.
I know. That's why every Torah when there is, and there's the Biur and the Hezbollah from the Rebbe, and I remembered there was a Hezbollah from the Rebbe, but I couldn't find it where. I asked a few people, but Oitzach Chochmeh held the clap, 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 and because I keep on putting keywords until I find what I want and get the If you know what you're looking for, you find. The guy himself so topic.
Well, it's Chazer Rebbe time from Shabbos with another Yiddish. So I was saying, well, the Rebbe says it's already seen this in the words. So you don't, that's right. So that's
You don't always see the words, but you have to. If you know, this hezbet that Rebbe gives in here is really in the words.
Baked and vegetables.
That's what's Lashon Hazov.
There's enough chemicals in there.
Okay, shkech everyone for joining us.
Gotta lock the doors. Right, exactly.